Welcome, seekers of wisdom and explorers of the soul, to a captivating adventure into the heart of the unknown. Prepare to embark on a journey through The Great Secret, a profound work by Christian D. Larson, where the mysteries of a reality beyond the ordinary will unfold before you. Picture a universe where your thoughts hold the power to shape your destiny, where every dream and desire has the potential to manifest into reality. In this realm, the laws that govern existence are more fluid than you may have ever imagined, and the key to unlocking these truths is about to be revealed. Within The Great Secret, we'll explore the deep mysteries of faith and the human spirit, discovering the principles that enable ordinary people to achieve the extraordinary. Through these pages, you are invited to cross a threshold into a world where limitations vanish and possibilities expand. Christian D. Larson, a true master of personal growth and introspection, leads us on this transformative quest, revealing how faith serves as the master key to unlocking a life of abundance and fulfillment. Prepare to challenge the limits of possibility, cast aside the chains of doubt, and embrace a new vision of your own potential. As you journey through this powerful work, you will encounter insights that will challenge your deepest beliefs and inspire you to tap into the greatness that has always lived within you. The Great Secret is not merely a text, it's an invitation to live a life without boundaries. So, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let these words guide you into a world where anything is possible. The Great Secret is about to be revealed. Welcome to the adventure of a lifetime. Chapter 1. With faith, all things are possible. Faith is that force within a person that transcends all forms of limitation and opens the mind to the boundless powers of the soul. It is faith that emancipates the individual by unfolding the limitless greatness of the soul. It removes the veil of mystery and reveals to humanity the limitless, divine, and beautiful world within. Faith has been the hidden secret of great souls throughout the ages, by which all miracles have been accomplished. It is the secret by which prophets have gained their wisdom and power, and by which the sons of glory have attained their rare and wonderful talents. Faith is the secret through which all that is lofty, worthy, and beautiful has been given to the world. It is faith that awakened minds have always sought, though they did not know that the hidden secret was faith, and only faith. It is what will change the world, everything that needs to be changed, when its inner sanctuary is penetrated by the human spirit. Faith is the hidden secret of all human desires and needs, the key that opens all the doors existing in the universe. Faith is the perfect path to this inner world from which all things originate. It is the royal road to unlimited power, immeasurable wisdom, and boundless love. It is the slightly open door to the primordial realm that we must find before all else. Chapter 2. A living faith. There is a faith that can do anything, that moves mountains, a faith that rises above all obstacles in the world and reaches the highest heights the human mind can see. It is this faith, the hidden secret, that when attained banishes poverty and all other ills of human life. All wrongs will be corrected, crooked paths will be made straight, and all the heart's desires will be fulfilled. This faith is a living, active faith, not merely a consoling one. It is not a faith that is content to believe, but a faith that acts. It is this faith that opens the mind to the limitless possibilities of our inner power and gives humanity that something through which it can become as great as it is meant to be. It is this faith that the mastermind referred to when he declared that nothing would be impossible. It is this faith that endows the true word with invincible power, that gives birth to living thought with healing in its wings. It is this faith that will emancipate the human race, bring peace on earth, goodwill to humanity, and it is this faith that will reveal to the mind the hidden breath of truth. By knowing this spirit, humanity will gain freedom from all that is human and the power to attain all that is divine. To possess this faith is the prayer of every spiritual heart, and it is a joyful news that can be answered now. Chapter 3. A faith that knows fully. This faith is an effort that will never be attempted, for true faith is far beyond the description of words. True faith is something that must be spiritually discerned, and the higher one rises in spiritual understanding, the greater and more powerful this faith becomes. Faith is not mere belief. It is not a doctrine about something that has been, is, or will be. Faith and belief have nothing in common. They are as different as darkness and light. Belief is human. Faith is something more than human. Belief knows nothing. Faith knows everything. True faith is a spiritual state that is very deep, very high, and very beautiful, beyond all description. It is a state of mind that knows why being in faith means standing on the summit of intelligence, wisdom, and enlightenment. The countless realms of the great within are known through faith. Indeed, through spiritual vision it knows all that is lofty, perfect, limitless, and supreme. Faith is a mental activity that directs a person's higher sense inward, toward the invisible, the beyond, and brings consciousness to the most subtle realms where everything is perfect and more real than what is visible. Faith demonstrates that what seems unreal is absolutely real, that what seems hidden can be revealed to and understood by any mind as soon as it opens the full vision that exists within it. Faith shows that the inner world is much more substantial than the outer world, and the deeper we immerse ourselves in the great within, the more real and beautiful everything becomes, as all growth in life, power, and ability arises from the awakening of ever greater strength from within. We fully understand why all things are possible for the one who has faith. Chapter 4. The Faith that Opens the Door. There is an unlimited inner life. It is the most abundant life that every awakened spirit has sought with all heart and soul. It is the life from which all great things originate, the source of all that has real and lofty value. Faith opens the door to this life and leads a person to the sacred inner sanctuary, allowing them to appropriate all that it contains. This does not mean that faith is solely concerned with a life distinct from daily life. Faith finds the abundance of real life and generously gives what it finds to daily life. Every atom of our being is filled with this life. Faith does not reside on the margins of things, but acts through them, bringing them all an abundance of the unlimited power within us. Without the spirit of faith, things remain lifeless, soulless, purposeless. Everything is limited in the absence of faith, whereas, on the contrary, faith breaks through limits when it appears. Faith does not act on the fringes of the intellect, but gives soul to the intellect, illuminates it with higher wisdom, and inspires it with greater possibilities, infusing the intellect with a power that the mind can never measure. Faith not only imparts superiority to the intellect, but elevates the spirit to an ever higher state of understanding. It gives more power and quality to every talent, and opens consciousness to the unlimited source of all that the mind may require. Chapter 5. The Great Within. Whatever goals we want to achieve, nothing is more important than possessing ingenuity, being able to resort to unlimited methods, wisdom, inspiration, in short, everything one might need to seize every opportunity. Being able to do this brings us closer to the highest goal the mind can envision, and faith enables the mind to achieve this by opening the doors to everything the mind desires to obtain. The inner world is the one from which everything can be received. Every day demonstrates that all things belonging to human life come from within, not only great things, but all things. From within comes all wisdom, and the one who has awakened their inner self to a great extent possesses the greatest wisdom. The same is true for power. We do not receive it from what we eat or drink, nor from the air we breathe. Power comes from an inner world. Therefore, the one who wants to become strong in body, mind, and soul must continually awaken the greatness within them. That rare insight that guides us with superhuman understanding also comes from the illuminated within and develops as consciousness attains a higher understanding of the inner world. By entering this higher state of mind, one will perpetually live in the light, eliminating all errors from daily existence. The one who enters into faith accesses this higher and enlightened state. Other forms of understanding, perception, and conception also have their source in the inner spirit and will increase in power and effectiveness as the inner self develops. The powers that create, the forces that build, and those that foster the growth of the mind and soul all come from the same source and will come in greater abundance as the inner world awakens in the human spirit. The love that loves everything with true love also comes from the wonderful within. Similarly, purity, virtue, goodness, harmony, joy, and peace that surpass all understanding can all be obtained in unlimited abundance by living in faith. Every form of health, wholeness, and perfect conditions of mind or body has its origin within. Therefore, the one who wants to banish all ills must, through faith, unfold the perfect life from this unlimited inner world. Everything we may need to advance or expand life can be obtained from the great within. And since faith is the true path to this wondrous realm, we further understand why all things are possible for the one who lives in it. Chapter 6. Expanding life, achieving complete liberation, perpetually rising on the ladder of life. Becoming someone significant, achieving results, making every effort count, making the best possible use of all one can be or possess, living a life that is worthwhile, and getting the best out of life. These are some of the most dominant desires among the finest minds of today. We consider these desires to be the most worthy because they embody a higher understanding of true existence. Therefore, it is a privilege to obtain that something through which all these desires can be realized, and that something is faith. Everyone can advance and achieve all their desires because everyone can have faith. In fact, everyone already has faith to some extent. When someone loses their faith, they cease to exist. Before a person can do anything, they must have faith. Even before they can begin to perpetuate existence, living is moving forward and at the same time entering the unknown to the senses but not to faith. Faith knows that the apparent void and the unknown are solid rock, and therefore, since there is the possibility of possessing it, a person can move forward safely. If there were nothing in them to provide this security, they would not progress, paralyzing all existence and ceasing to be. However, no one will ever do this because faith is part of the soul and is inseparably linked to it. One can never lose all their faith. On the contrary, its power can increase infinitely. As one's faith grows, the expression of life intensifies, and everything that comes from it increases. A person's life is great or small in proportion to their faith, for it is through faith that they touch the source of life and receive it. Likewise, all of a person's successes and achievements are great or small in proportion to their faith. This is the law that determines everything, since faith is the hidden secret of all life and is absolutely essential to existence. We all have faith, just as we all have life. Therefore, to find faith, it is not necessary to search for something we have never known. It is necessary to have more faith in the faith we already possess. Chapter 7. Unlimited power. Through faith, any desire can be realized and any goal can be achieved, for faith connects the mind with almighty power. Faith opens the mind to the unlimited power within and creates in the mind the conscious realization of this power. When you are in faith, the power you feel is so great that nothing seems impossible. You feel strong enough to become almost anything, and what you feel is true. There is an inner world of unlimited power that permeates the outer world and reveals itself through faith. It is within us and around us, but in ordinary consciousness, we do not perceive its existence. However, when we transcend ordinary consciousness, we catch glimpses of this wonderful world. It is in these moments that we feel capable of moving mountains, of receiving inspiration. It is in these moments that our truths are revealed, our discoveries are made, and immortal deeds are accomplished. The fact that faith is an unlimited power within us is such an extraordinary truth, of such vast scope and importance, that it should be proclaimed loudly to everyone. No soul should live another day without hearing this wonderful message proclaimed. It is one of the greatest truths, and it should not only receive deep attention from every mind, but should also be constantly upheld in each of them. To live, think, and act in the spirit of this truth with faith is to open the mind to the perpetual influx of this power until nothing seems impossible to you now and forever. That this world exists, no one can doubt, and that faith is the hidden path to access it everyone can prove. We can also prove that we gain possession of immense power as long as we remain in total faith. It is therefore evident that those who continue in total faith uninterruptedly will achieve everything they set out to do. Through the growth of true faith, the mind becomes more aware of this inner world, and consciousness opens more and more to receive its unlimited power. You feel that this power is working through you, that it is your power, and therefore whatever is worthy of your endeavor will be accomplished. Entering this realization is to acquire more power. From the start, we therefore say that anyone who enters into faith will immediately begin to achieve greater and better things, whatever their work may be. As for their future, it will be as great, as wonderful, and as beautiful as they wish to make it. Chapter 8. Living a Greater Life. By entering the vastness of higher mental worlds, faith enlarges the mind, thereby increasing all the substantial qualities contained in the world of intelligence. Through the same process, faith expands consciousness beyond all current limitations and adds rich domains to the realm of mentality. Faith penetrates the unknown and makes it known. It emerges from the apparent void and finds solid rock, and it always finds it because it is everywhere. Everything is real and substantial. The unfathomable depths and immeasurable heights contain worlds within them, all perfectly safe for the mind to explore. Faith knows this, and that is why it never wavers in the face of the apparent void, nor shrinks from any worthy endeavor. Faith knows that everything is real and that everything is possible, and it acts accordingly. Once again, it is evident that everything is possible for the one who has faith. Through the action of faith, new worlds are discovered in every part of the mind, and valuable qualities, talents, abilities, and powers are constantly added through the revelations of faith. We find that the most prodigious minds we know are mere children compared to what each of us can become if we simply have faith in faith. We are all on the brink of genius, of superior talent, and of limitless worlds of extraordinary intelligence, but only faith can guide us, for it is the hidden secret of wisdom and limitless power. There is no end to the possibilities that can unfold and develop through the expansion of the various faculties of the outer mind. Even the physical senses can extend their spheres of action far beyond the limits of imagination. The world of colors, sounds, and feelings is unlimited. The idea that the physical senses have limitations is not true. They may seem limited because they have not been developed beyond their current spheres of action, but through faith, we discover that they contain possibilities for infinite expansion. Through faith, we also discover how to promote this development of the senses to the greatest extent possible. Countless realms of marvelous beauty are hidden in the world of colors, sounds, and feelings. If we speak of their latent possibilities, we haven't even dreamed of 1,000th part. We may think the world is beautiful, and it is, but our perception of beauty is still in its early stages. The further development of physical sight and color perception remains to reveal worlds of splendor that the mind has never been able to imagine. We may be intoxicated to ecstasy by certain tender musical chords, but the sweetest music is not yet heard, and the tenderest chords do not yet touch the soul. The world of sound, with its countless symphonies, is almost completely closed to the common mind. You may love what you barely hear, but what will happen when you hear everything? It is through faith that we achieve the further development of the physical senses, so that they reach a higher state, and can thus appreciate these worlds. Faith is the secret to everything hidden, and to the one who follows faith all things will be revealed. What faith can do for the expansion of the physical senses and the outer mind, it can do even more extensively for the spiritual senses and the inner mind. We thus fully understand why all things are possible for the one who has faith. Chapter 9. Expansion of Consciousness. We all realize that within the great inner self there are unlimited latent possibilities, but it has been discovered that the inner self unfolds only through the expansion of consciousness. Therefore, this is one of the greatest challenges of human life. However, it is resolved through faith, for faith expands consciousness. In fact, it is the only means to do so. This is a fact of the utmost importance that every metaphysician and psychologist should carefully observe and act accordingly. The absence of true faith among psychologists is why most of their efforts hold no practical value for the world, and the lack of faith among metaphysicians is why not all the sick are healed, and why those with problems do not fully achieve liberation. Add true faith to the practice of metaphysics, and failures among those trying to eliminate the ills of human life would almost completely disappear. It is not the literal statement of truth, but the soul of truth that contains the healing and liberating power that can do everything. Thus, we will enter into the true soul. And it is clear that we must have faith before we can become aware of what is new and elevated in the spirit of things. We will realize that only faith ventures into the apparent void to break limits, showing us the existence of a greater life. Only faith will take the first step, and wherever faith goes, consciousness will invariably follow. We thus understand that to awaken and develop the limitless possibilities that lie dormant within us, faith is the hidden secret. Through faith, the mind gains a greater understanding of all things, whether physical, intellectual, or spiritual. The greater the faith, the clearer the vision. Whatever the subject of thought, faith is therefore an invaluable gift for every existing mind, For there is no place in life where faith is not a great and wonderful power for good. Through faith, the mind rises to that state of being where the most abundant spiritual and eternal life is realized and described among all the powers of faith. It is the greatest of powers. The development of the inner life prepares the way for the growth of the soul and brings all high spiritual achievement within the mind's reach. Among the many methods proposed for the development of the soul, pure spiritual faith is the greatest. Other methods may become aids to faith, but without faith, they are of no value. A great truth to remember is that without faith, neither spiritual development nor the flowering of the soul is possible, and that any system of higher culture or accomplishment is of no value unless it is based on faith. Chapter 10. Faith awakens a new life. Faith awakens a new life with its countless attributes: healer, purifier, regenerator, the life that is power, health, wholeness, and freedom. Therefore, through faith, everyone can achieve complete emancipation from all the ills of human existence. The arrival of pure life from within will dispel all forms of physical illness or mental anguish, just as light dispels darkness. To have faith is to open the entire human personality to the arrival of these higher powers of the soul that have healing in their wings. No illness can remain in our system after these higher spiritual forces have acted upon the mind and body. When illness manifests, have faith in faith, feel the very soul of faith in every atom of your being, and the healing power of the soul will completely fill your system. Faith is the hidden secret of supreme power. Seen in this light, to have faith in faith is to enter into the hidden life of this power, thus feeling the very spirit of this life permeating every conscious action of the mind. When we realize that faith is the hidden secret and enter into the most intimate life of this secret, invincible inner powers will immediately awaken, and everything we desire to accomplish will come to pass. Faith's effect on the intellect benefits us in every way, for the attitude of faith lifts the mind above all confusion, doubt, and fear, and truly illuminates every mental domain. Entering into faith is entering into the crystal sea of pure intelligence. It is to grow towards this higher understanding with constancy, knowing that it is the light of truth and wisdom. Thus, one will develop remarkable intellectual brilliance in a short time. The one who lives in faith will acquire that rare and excellent faculty of doing what is right at the right moment. Faith develops a higher subtlety or mental insight, giving the mind the power to act with superior wisdom, judgment, and understanding. Chapter 11. With faith, all things are possible. Faith is the hidden secret of reality, of what is authentic and superior in all things. To enter into faith is to enter into possession of the highest truth about all things. Faith ignores all the limitations of objective intelligence and penetrates the broader mental world of higher intelligence, knowing that the unknown will reveal itself full of light once we access its luminous brilliance. In the development of various mental faculties, faith is indispensable, for it is the most refined creative energies of the mind that build talents. We must enter the inner mental world to awaken these energies, but it is only through faith that consciousness can reach these inner realms. By being in faith, we are in the conscious realization of the most subtle forces required for every form of physical, mental, or spiritual development. Faith is the hidden secret of all higher powers. If we enter into faith, we enter into conscious possession of these powers and can use them for any purpose before us. As we grow in faith, the most refined creative energies increase in power, promoting the development of talent, genius, and exceptional ability on an ever-increasing scale, giving each faculty a broader sphere of action and a higher quality. In the development of any faculty, what is limited must be transcended. Thus, the consciousness that acts within the faculty must be expanded. The higher consciousness rises into the mental world of any faculty, the finer its quality becomes. Faith will invariably follow the realization of this elevation of consciousness, for it always promotes the elevation of consciousness. This truth will be better understood when we realize that what is great lies within on a higher plane, and that to take possession of it, we must develop the inner consciousness, meaning that consciousness must expand to the point of comprehending both the inner and outer. Faith is the only path to the inner self, and it is only through faith that consciousness can expand, becoming indispensable for all forms of development. Faith is the hidden secret of what is true, perfect, and unlimited. Thus, to find faith is to find everything. Nothing is hidden from the one who has faith, for it is a hidden path, accessed only through conscious effort, when our thought penetrates the inner meaning of faith. Exercising faith is to consciously enter the inner self and into the most subtle essence of everything in which we can have faith. It is necessary to understand the inner meaning of faith and to realize its hidden secret for the mind to open to the unlimited powers that come through it, and thus all limitations and apparent impossibilities will completely disappear from consciousness. Chapter 12. Have faith in yourself. When we exercise faith, all doubt, fear, and anxiety are absent. If these undesirable mental states appear, we must know that our mind is thinking on the surface of things rather than on the essence of things. To be in faith is to think, feel, and live in the spirit of things, to be completely filled with the unlimited power of that spirit. Faith never pays attention to appearances, for it obtains its information from a higher source. It knows that everything is possible because to be in faith is to be in that power that can accomplish everything. When we try to enter into faith, we must allow this power to animate every atom of our being. The more we rely on this power, the more we will receive until our capacity becomes immense. To achieve the best possible results from the practical application of faith, it is necessary to have perfect faith in everything we come into contact with, both in the visible and invisible realms of life. Have faith in yourself, have faith in humanity, have faith in the universe, have faith in God, and have faith in faith itself. To have faith in everything is to develop its power in all directions. It is complete faith that opens the mind to the power that can accomplish anything. The main reason why faith sometimes fails is that we exercise it in certain things while doubting others. The faith that believes in all things and at all times is true faith. In everything, something of real value can be found, something that can contribute to the well-being of humanity. But this is found not on the surface, but in the soul of things. It is therefore necessary to come into perfect contact with the inner life of each thing to obtain the best from each thing. This is possible only through faith. When we have faith in all things, we enter into absolute unity with the real life of all things. We connect with the universal and, consequently, can draw upon the unlimited for whatever the heart desires. The person who lives constantly in perfect contact with the universal will never lack anything. When you have faith in yourself, you awaken the vastness of your inner life and express your higher self, your unlimited self. There is something in man that is more than human, much greater than the personal self, and transcends all visible forms of existence, for it was created in the image of the Supreme, and it is faith that unfolds this higher being, thus making the word flesh and infusing the visible form with the beauty and divinity of the soul. Have faith in yourself, and you will always give your best. By doing so, you will constantly express the best that exists in your conscious nature, and your work will be the result of your full potential. By having a full and constant faith in yourself, you place every part of your system in the best possible working conditions, and furthermore, you will enhance within yourself the process of continuous improvement. Living in faith means advancing at every moment, for one of faith's functions is to keep moving forward. The person who maintains such an attitude secures the most rewarding positions in the industrial world. Faith elevates the mind to the highest state of capability and awakens from within the power needed to maintain a high position. The person who continues to have perfect faith in themselves can never fail, for it is courage that triumphs, and faith never ceases to develop courage. There is a genius asleep in the subconscious of every mind, and there lie unlimited capacities. It is faith that awakens this genius and unfolds the unlimited possibilities from within. To grow in this faith, never think on the surface of your system, but on the strong soul that permeates every atom of your being. Dwell mentally in the inner side of your life and train your thought to act only on the finest energies and the true spirit that fills your body, mind, and soul to develop faith in yourself. Chapter 13. Have faith in humanity. Have faith in the one that declares you made in the image and likeness of the Supreme, therefore limitless. The key is that whenever you try to have faith, whenever you think about faith, mentally feel the inner meaning of faith. This will invariably produce results. If we have faith in humanity, we align ourselves harmoniously with what is best in others. living mentally with the higher and true self of others. Consequently, we will not think of human weakness, but of the divine life that exists within every person. What we recognize in others, we develop in ourselves, and we constantly grow to resemble what we think about most. When we have faith in all people, we attract those with good habits and pure feelings. Thus, we will have the privilege of living with those we wish, as we will not need to change them. What we constantly hold in mind, we invariably attract to ourselves. Therefore, we will have the privilege of associating with those who express the real and true in the highest and most perfect measure. The person who has the most faith in humanity, has the most friends, receives the truest love, and the best the world has to offer will constantly flow into their life. When we have faith in others, we inspire them to have faith in themselves. As a result, they become more competent, thereby contributing to the improvement of life for everyone involved. The more faith we have in people, the more they will do for us. They will help themselves by becoming valuable and indispensable to the world. Have faith in the world, and the world's ills will correct themselves. For when everyone has faith in everyone else, sin, pain, and disease will vanish from this planet. The above is a scientific statement, for when we all have faith in one another, the life of the entire race will be a living faith. The life of each person will be lived in faith, and to live in faith is to live a life that knows neither disease, pain, nor sin. Thus, we will enter into the life of that pure spiritual power that not only can but does banish the ills of human existence. ***, when things seem to be going wrong, do not complain about human incompetence. Instead, have faith in humanity, and the good side of everything and everyone you are connected with will appear to set things right. The spirit that complains sinks into confusion and denser darkness, making more mistakes and deceiving those around it. It is true that the more we complain, the more reasons we find to complain. But the more faith we have in humanity, especially in the midst of adversity, the quicker we will find a way out, often before we even realize it. And we will find the help we need without even asking for it. Faith keeps its gaze fixed on the best, the just, and the true. The one who keeps their gaze fixed on the best will rise towards the realization of the best. This is an absolute law through which anyone can find liberation. Nothing clears the obstacles from life's path and harmonizes all the conditions of life more perfectly and swiftly than a full, strong, and living faith, a faith that has faith in everyone and everything. We become conscious of what we perceive in the mind when we penetrate it, and what we become conscious of, we express through our own personality. Therefore, by entering the inner realms of the higher self, we develop within us all the qualities of superiority. Chapter 14. Have faith in your work, in your opportunities, and in your circumstances. Have faith in your work, and your efforts will yield greater results because, through faith, you approach things with a positive attitude and empower your work. Furthermore, you enter into harmony with all the elements that make up your work, thereby creating a unity of purpose that inevitably leads to great accomplishments. Have faith in every opportunity, and the richest treasures hidden in that opportunity will be revealed to you. Faith penetrates the soul of things and appropriates the very essence of everything worthwhile. Have faith in all circumstances, and they will give you only the best of themselves. Adverse environments will cease to disturb you, and better yet, will become open doors to greener pastures. If you cannot understand something, have faith, and faith will reveal the reason to you. The hidden secret of faith is revealed only to those who live in faith. Have faith even in adversity. Believe with all your heart that adverse circumstances are opportunities for a greater life for you. According to your faith, so shall it be. There is power in every form of adversity, a power that can be harnessed. Faith, in harmony with this power, seizes it and transforms adversity into a powerful friend. Live in faith that all things work out well, and you will draw them onto the right path. Have faith in all the elements and forces of nature, and their hidden secrets will be revealed to you. Faith can find anything, for it penetrates its soul and through a higher vision discerns all that can exist in life. Live perpetually in faith to discover many things that the world has never known and that can help immeasurably in the well-being of humanity. When we have faith in all things, our attention focuses on the best. By thinking in this way, we create and enter the world of the best. Upon entering it, we will have the privilege of associating with the best and appropriating it to live in the best. The secret of elevated and correct thinking lies in faith, and since man is what he thinks, we again realize the limitless value of faith. Chapter 15. Have faith in God. When we have faith in God, we enter into unity with Him and with all that is good in the universe. Only faith allows us to know God. Only faith allows us to enter His presence and walk close to Him, to penetrate His Spirit, and to dwell in the secret places of the Most High. Faith removes the chasm that seems to exist between God and man, demonstrating that there is none at all, but rather that man is one with God in the highest, truest, and most complete sense of divine unity. Entering into faith is knowing that my Father and I are one, and feeling that the power to accomplish the greatest things is already within reach. Entering into faith is entering into the conscious realization of the great truth that man was created in the image and likeness of God. Entering into faith is feeling inwardly that I am a child of God, and that all that the Father possesses is mine. When we have faith, we fully understand that for the one who is with Him, all things are possible. No one can fail when they are close to Him, the one who is with everyone, uniting their spirit with the infinite Spirit. Come with me, and I will be with you. Thus speaks the divine voice in the soul of every person. Those who have faith can hear this voice and act accordingly, immediately. You will feel that God is with you in everything you undertake. Do not merely believe in God. Have faith in God, for the difference is immense. The one who merely believes in God remains distant from Him, but the one who has faith enters into the very Spirit of God, filling themselves with His power, His purity, God's eternal wisdom and His peace, and will rest eternally in the arms of infinite love. Asterisk, asterisk. Having faith in God means taking God absolutely at His word, firmly believing that all things were created in the image of God, and that all things are good because they were created by God. Everything God created is good, and the one who lives in faith finds that all things are good. They also find that the imperfections of human creations completely disappear when we realize the perfections of divine creations. When we have faith in God, we cannot doubt anything. We know that infinite power, infinite wisdom, and infinite love are present in all things, and that the final outcomes will be wonderful and indescribably beautiful. By having faith in God, our fears and worries disappear. What we cannot accomplish ourselves, we place in God's hands, who will ensure that all things go well, and according to our faith, so it will always be with us. If you feel that you live and exist in God, you will never be afraid, for you will know that you are safe and protected. To eliminate fear of any kind, simply have faith in God. It is a remedy that never fails. Again, do not merely believe in God, above all, have faith in God. By having faith in God, you enter into the Spirit of God to the point of feeling that He is closer than breath, closer than hands and feet. Being in this state is not only supreme joy, but also a state of higher wisdom. As long as you are in this state, you realize that my Father is working, and I am working too. You feel that the hand of the infinite is working with your hand, and neither fatigue nor failure can stop you. While you are in this state, your mind, illuminated by the word of wisdom and the Spirit of truth, reigns over your entire world. You are at peace, a peace that surpasses all understanding. You have forgotten evil because you know only good. You are inside the pearly gates and live with the souls of radiant glory. You have entered into the state where Christ entered when His face shone like the sun and His garments were as white as light. You have entered into the presence of God, glorified by His Spirit and His love. You have seen His kingdom, this world where we can all dwell, provided we do not merely believe in God, but have faith in God. Chapter 16. Have faith in faith. To find the hidden secret of faith, the main secret is to have faith in faith. Having faith in faith means entering into the very soul of faith, thereby increasing its powers and giving the mind that inner secret through which all extraordinary things can be accomplished. To develop the power of faith, remember that faith is the hidden secret, and then direct all your attention to the soul of the hidden secret until you feel that you are in the very life of life. Thus you are in the spirit of the soul of all existence. It is in this state that you find perfect peace, unlimited power, and supreme joy. There you find the inner heaven and eternal life. It is in this state that personal will gives way to divine will, allowing you to hear the gentle voice that tells us, "Ask what you want, and I will give it to you." Being in this state is having faith in faith. That is why we can understand why all things are possible for the one who has faith. Chapter 17. Having faith in faith is an inexhaustible power. You will accomplish everything you attempt as long as you have faith in faith. The power of faith is unlimited, and having faith in faith means working within the unlimited power of faith to gain that understanding of real truth that sets man free. The secret is to have faith in faith. Through this, one acquires more true wisdom than from all other sources combined. Although the usual sources of knowledge should not be neglected, they provide the vehicle, the instrument of wisdom. Faith provides the light, life, and soul of wisdom. By having faith in faith, our own faith becomes stronger until we are in true faith. Being in true faith is being inside the gates of the limitless realm of the soul, being in the innermost chamber of life, being in the very spirit. Therefore, it is clear that nothing can be impossible for the one who has faith. Having faith in faith means keeping your gaze fixed on the greatest in every realm of life. It means opening the mind to see the best in all things and thus being eternally greater. The thoughts we create when we are in faith are always powerful because the attitude of faith gives superior power to everything. This further demonstrates that faith can accomplish all things. The mind that has faith can discover anything at any time. Therefore, to develop the power of faith, train the consciousness to act on the frontier of the unknown. Train every action of the mind to touch the limitless in every part of mental life. However, the mind must act with faith and inwardly feel that the apparent void everywhere is solid rock. This removes any timidity about going into the great unknown and makes it a splendid world of reality, even more real than the tangible world of the physical senses. Faith has no fear because faith does not grope in the dark. Faith knows, can see. Faith is in the light and demonstrates that the whole universe is filled with it. Through faith, we see much further than our limits. We therefore know how to proceed, where to go, how to go, and when to go. To enter the most beautiful life, the one that is most just for the soul, every step that can be taken is the result of faith. It is the only thing that can lead the mind to greater realms and endow us with superior abilities. In this sense, we must give faith all the credit for every increase that appears in life. By doing this, the power of faith will grow. When faith grows, all good things grow, and nothing promotes the growth of faith faster than giving faith credit for the achievements it has provided. Nothing is accomplished without faith, for every step forward must be preceded by faith. Faith always opens the way because it does not disappear with the improvement of the intellect. In reality, it is what makes the improvement of the intellect possible. When faith is there, the intellect enters, analyzes, understands, and grasps. Ultimately, the intellect never goes where faith has not first revealed a new world of possibilities to study and explore. Chapter 18. Desire and Faith. The greatest power that can be expressed through the human mind comes from the unified actions of desire and faith. This power is truly irresistible. Therefore, whatever we desire in faith, we will receive. Have faith, and no genuine desire will go unfulfilled. This does not mean that we will always receive exactly what we desired, for in the long run it might prove undesirable, but the desire will be fulfilled. In reality, when we do not receive exactly what we desire, we obtain something that will serve our purpose much better. When we express a strong desire and allow faith to bring it to fruition, the best outcome is assured. Faith lives in a higher light and can see much better than man what would bring us the greatest good and joy. Faith, therefore, acts accordingly. When we have faith in faith, it does not always give us what we ask for, but something better. The prayer of faith is the only one that is always answered. True prayer is that which manifests when we are in the Spirit, a path opened by faith. Prayer is not about withdrawing and asking God, but about entering into the presence of God and receiving through the Spirit what we may need and desire. Prayers addressed to a distant God are never answered, but the prayers we personally bring to God through faith will always be answered. Asking for something is not the essential part of prayer. Instead, we must enter into God's presence and personally receive the answer. To receive from the infinite what we may desire, we must enter into that state where we feel that it is closer than breath, closer than hands and feet. Only through faith can we enter into this sublime state. In faith, we know that the infinite is as eager to give as we are to receive. It is absolutely necessary to know and feel this, for if we doubt God or believe that he must be persuaded and begged, our conception of God is wrong. In this way, we would be out of harmony with God and unable to enter his presence to receive what we have asked for. This is why the prayer of the righteous is so powerful, for being in perfect unity with God, they are in the Spirit, in the presence of God, feeling his peaceful and loving presence at all times. The righteous man is thus in the secret places of the Most High, near the throne, to receive whatever he wishes to ask for. All things necessary for the perfect life of man have already been given to man and are kept for him in the Spirit. Whatever you ask and pray for, believe that you have already received it, and you will have it. No prayer is answered unless we believe we have already received it. Faith lives in the Spirit and knows that everything a man can ask for is already reserved for him. Therefore, prayer is not about turning away from God to beg, but about entering into the Spirit of God and receiving from his loving goodness what he is more than willing to give. Whatever we receive in the Spirit, we will also receive in our personal life, for everything that comes from within attracts what belongs to the outside. We must be convinced that all our needs have already been met, and that the supply is waiting in the great spiritual realm for us to come and take possession. But this conviction comes only through faith, for it is in the Spirit and knows what the Spirit has reserved. Faith will provide for all your needs if you do something to justify them. If you are engaged in a great enterprise and do something of value and merit, everything you need to carry out that enterprise will be provided. If you have faith, do not fear to start a good work, no matter how great and vast it may be. Everything essential will be provided. Your prayers will be answered if they are expressed with a spirit of faith. It is prayer and faith combined that produce the greatest power in a person's life, an invincible power. Therefore, whatever we desire in faith, we will receive. Desire wisdom, desire power, desire abundance, desire gold and silver if you need them. Desire all that is necessary for a great and successful life, and have faith that all your prayers will be answered. Dedicate your entire life, your desires, and express them through the very soul of faith. Do not give up, and you will live in that powerful light that can do all things. Chapter 19. Entering the life of higher power. When we enter the inner spirit of faith, we discover that there is a higher power within man and in all his being. In summary, we live and move in an infinite sea of higher power. No matter how far we go in the stages of life, there is always a higher power to which we can lay claim for tangible benefit. To take possession of this higher power, faith is the key, for it perpetually transcends all limitations. Therefore, living in faith is about eternally moving from the higher to something even greater, from what seems limitless to what is infinitely greater and more sublime. In the mind of the average person, there is the belief that they are a limited personality with a certain amount of physical and mental energy. Moreover, as they do not know how to increase this amount, they imprint the idea of limitation they have set upon themselves into the subconscious. The result of this self-deception is that they receive from the unlimited source only as much power as their limited mentality can accept and appropriate. The law is that we receive from the source of unlimited power only as much power as we believe we possess. In other words, by expanding our consciousness to become aware of a greater measure of power, we begin to receive it. The average person is also unaware that the supply of power will increase as they prepare themselves to receive more from the unlimited source. However, when the mind, through faith, rises above its previously established states and comes into closer contact with the Supreme, the truth becomes evident. We then discover that we are not endowed with a fixed amount of life and power for a temporary personal existence, but rather that we receive each hour from the unlimited source as much power as we can comprehend. As consciousness rises to a higher and more perfect realization of the eternal and the unlimited, the mind becomes increasingly open to the power that exists. And as the closeness between the individual mind and the Supreme is perfected, the capacity to live, think and act is more fully realized. The same law governs the worlds of freedom, purity, health, harmony, wisdom, joy, and love. The closer we feel to the infinite, the more we receive of these qualities. The closer we feel to the higher realms, the more fully we become aware of what exists for us in these realms. Being aware of this gives us the possibility to possess it. Every soul must learn to live fully in the spirit of this higher power, and should never undertake anything without perceiving these energies coming directly from the unlimited source. All great minds have been inspired and driven to remarkable achievements by feeling the presence of this higher power. It is this power that is responsible for the greatest feats the world has ever seen. When you realize the presence of this power, you feel that you are something more than human. You feel that you are not just a genius, but a giant in spirit and soul. You feel that there is something supreme within you, and this something shakes your entire being with the conviction that nothing is impossible. You are in this world where the unlimited truly exists. By resting on a higher power, you rest on yourself, on your entire being. You recognize the great truth that what is in God is in you, and that all things that belong to the Supreme belong to man. By the constant appropriation of a higher power, the limited mind becomes great, the ordinary mind becomes genius, and those who already have talent can multiply and triple the talents they possess. Through the power of thought, everything in personal life can be changed. For this, the power of thought must rise to meet every occasion. It is through thought that man changes himself, changes his environment, and creates his own destiny. Therefore, to achieve everything you desire to do, the power of your thought must be unlimited. When every thought is full of higher power, nothing but good can come from that thought, for all higher power is constructive, uplifting, and liberating. This power is harmony, peace, health, purity, and perfection, and it abundantly grants its wealth to everything it comes into contact with. Since man constantly thinks about the good that will come when every thought carries higher power, this power can never be measured. Strong thought is born from the Spirit, and it is through faith that we access the Spirit. It is thought that heals, and when we learn to direct all our thoughts toward realizing higher power, everyone to whom we can transmit our healing thought will find freedom. It is strong thought that heals. It must be clearly understood that strong thought is not that which is driven by willpower. Thoughts born of willpower are the weakest of all and rarely succeed. Strong thought is that which is created in the quiet realization of unlimited power. Such thought will clear obstacles from the path of life, harmonize all elements of existence, and build for a man a vigorous body, a strong character, a powerful mind, and an invincible soul. Stay calm, and know that you are in the presence of a supreme power capable of achieving all things, and every thought you have will contain this power, accomplishing what your heart desires. When we face challenges, we must remain still and allow the supreme power to enter our thoughts. Difficulties will disappear instantly. The work will almost do itself, and the proposed goal will be achieved with perfect ease, like the simplest task we have ever accomplished. The great achievement will be the result of a higher power, not a power coming from an external and independent source, but a higher power awakened from the infinity within us. Experience shows that it is not laborious thoughts that produce the greatest results in life, but the elevated thoughts we create when we are in the peace that surpasses all understanding. No one has seen it or heard it, but faith knows. It has found the hidden way, and those who follow it will pass through the open gates and meet him face to face, not in a distant future or another sphere of existence, but now, for the kingdom of heaven is within you, and faith is the hidden secret of its splendor, glory, and infinite joy. To have faith in faith is to open the mind to an inner world of sublime existence, a life of indescribable beauty and unimaginable joy. This is the life we catch occasional glimpses of when we are at the peak of spiritual thought. It is in these states that we contemplate something that the tongue cannot name nor the human mind comprehend. At odd intervals, through the pearly gates, we touch the hem of its garment. We are transformed by the presence of its radiant glory, and life is never the same. We have been in the cosmic state and offer eternal thanks for being blessed with the privilege of existence. As we grow in faith, we move ever closer to that sublime state of existence until we pass away at the edge of its splendor. Almost every hour thereafter we can cross this boundary, provided we desire it, and live almost constantly on that beautiful eternal shore. Once again, we must remind ourselves that this life is not meant for a future state of existence. This life is for today. Live in the magnificent, serene realms where merely living is already an eternal joy. We must learn to remain calm, never forcing anything, but living in a way that is constantly in harmony with the infinite power to emerge and realize what the heart desires. It is while living in this state that we feel the real presence of a superior and invisible power. By giving full and free expression to this power, we transcend all limitations, demonstrating the great truth that all things are possible when entering this state. Faith is the hidden secret, but now less hidden to those who have faith in faith. To enter into faith, turn your mind toward the inner side of life and dwell in the inner reality that permeates all things. This reality can be described as radiant because it is the very essence of light, purity, and perfection. When you are in faith, your mind truly enters this essence and thus awakens the unlimited life that contains absolute reality. For this reason, faith can help you overcome anything, no matter what obstacles or difficulties you encounter. Just have faith. Live in the faith that everything will unfold as you wish, and according to your faith so it will be. Do not let fear or doubt overtake your mind when things seem to be going wrong. Do not judge by appearances. Have faith, for it can change everything in your favor and make everything go well. When faith seems to falter, have even more faith and even more faith in faith. Thus, you will produce a decisive turning point, for faith can accomplish anything. It opens the mind to unlimited power, therefore we must never doubt its power. When you doubt, have faith, enter into the very soul of faith, and what you have been waiting for will appear immediately. Faith can transform any failure into the greatest of successes. Faith can lay its hands on anything that recoils and make it advance faster than any endeavor has ever done before. Do not let your heart be troubled by unfavorable situations. Simply have faith. Faith will help you move forward and will never fail you. Chapter 20. For daily life. Faith is not meant for just a part of life. It is for all of life. Therefore, its power must be applied to every phase of daily practical life to ensure the best results. Faith in daily work should not be seen as a material and inferior product. Everything is good when used, and all success will be harnessed when we live, think, and work in faith. Faith does not stay apart from the physical world, waiting only to address certain spiritual needs. Faith is ready to pour its power into everything to produce success in whatever one undertakes. Faith does not cooperate with things that are despised and condemned by man. The power of faith does not act on the fringes of current physical means and methods, but uses these methods to achieve the highest possible results. It is not necessary to change vocations to introduce faith into practical life. If your vocation is legitimate, stay where you are. Use and exploit the methods you have used before, no matter how material they seem. Face the world in the usual way and deal with the world in an understandable manner, knowing that all things become good. But make this change. Give a soul to your vocation by working with faith. By working with faith, you bring forth a greater power from within, a power that will infuse every part of your vocation, a power that will develop and expand your enterprise, a power that will purify your enterprise and elevate the whole endeavor to a higher level. At this higher level, your efforts will be amplified on a much larger scale. You will experience more success than ever. The results of your work will be superior in value and quality, and your usefulness to humanity will increase. The industrial world will not purify itself through external changes, but by awakening the higher powers from within. A person entering the industrial world cannot hope to achieve their goals through hard but superficial work. They must imbue their work with unlimited power from within. This can be achieved by having faith in your work, viewing it as something good, non-material, and having such perfect faith in faith that the fear of results completely vanishes from your mind. The greatest obstacle to true and genuine success in any sphere of human activity is the fear of results. Faith categorically eliminates this fear. Therefore, faith is indispensable in the industrial world. No man is prepared for any challenge in life unless he has real and living faith. That is, faith that can make all things possible. Chapter 21. Driving out fear with the attitude of faith. The mind, in an attitude of faith, sees the ideal, the real, and shapes all thoughts in alignment with the vision of this higher life. Since a person is what they think, by conceiving deep thoughts, they become a person with greater virtues. In a state of fear, The imagination presents all kinds of false, imperfect, inferior, and even monstrous thoughts. These thoughts manifest in the mind, character, and personal life, contaminating the system with harmful conditions. These conditions severely interfere with what a person may attempt to do, to the point where the feared failure will inevitably materialize. Following faith means advancing with assurance and certainty, even in the most adverse and difficult conditions. On the other hand, following fear means sinking into failure and defeat, even in the most favorable conditions. To drive out fear, have faith. The only infallible remedy against fear is faith. Faith perceives the substance and obtains it, while fear perceives the shadow and soon ends up alone with the shadow. A person who fears focuses on minor details, which gradually narrows them. A person with faith focuses on the essentials, thereby entering the path of perpetual development. Fear, looking downward, forces the mind to create what is inferior, while faith, looking upward, causes the mind to create what is superior. Fear expects the human side to prevail and fears the worst, thereby making the weak side prevail and provoking the worst. Faith continues to believe that the divine side will prevail, thus achieving supremacy. When the mind is in an attitude of faith, there is no fear of adversity. Even the thought of it does not arise. For being in faith, the mind is above all adversity, at peace, in harmony, and in righteousness. Ultimately, it is in the life of this power that can make everything unfold harmoniously and cause things to work together for good. As long as you have faith, the mind does not fear failure. It only sees the possibilities of success. Faith does not question whether success will come, but opens the mind to the great inner power that will produce it. When the mind has no fear, it is because it lives and has its being in the spirit of the infinite. Entering into faith is to enter fully into this elevated and wonderful realization. When the mind is in fear, attention focuses on the bad, but if the mind is in faith, attention focuses on the good. Therefore, fear creates evil in the mind, while faith creates only good. We always place our attention on what the mind is focused on and what we think replicates in our own reality. Given this, we can easily understand why the things we fear happen to us and why we always receive the things we desire with faith. Desiring what we need with all our heart and soul, placing unlimited faith in that desire, will produce results effectively. This principle can be applied in all contexts of life. There is no reason to suffer from any deficiency as long as we live in faith, for it is the hidden secret of everything. For the simple reason, it may not seem true, but it is true. Faith knows it is true, for the light of faith is superior to the light of reason. It is therefore appropriate not to reason in a worldly manner about the why of faith. Reasoning about what the outer mind cannot understand will confuse the consciousness and prevent the serene state of perfect certainty that is necessary for faith. Faith will become so strong that even reason will be convinced and cooperate with faith to demonstrate to the outer mind that the affirmations of faith are absolutely true. By having faith in faith, the secret of everything will be revealed to the one who lives in faith. Life and its purpose are clear, as well as the law of living and the path to endless ascent. Chapter 22, The Hidden Secret. Faith is not blind, it is in real light and sees all. Faith never errs because it possesses superior vision and higher understanding. It is therefore safe to follow faith, and as long as we do, everything that happens will be very good. All things will work together for good when we live in faith and follow its light with constancy. Whatever enterprise you undertake, have faith in superior wisdom, for it will give you the insight needed to know when to act, and the power required to achieve the best and greatest results. You cannot fail, for your faith will enable you to overcome any obstacle. When you have found your work, have faith and move forward. Do not wonder if you will succeed, have faith that you will succeed, and nothing in the world can prevent you from reaching the highest goal you have in mind. Do not wonder what will happen. Instead, start creating the events and circumstances favorable to your goal. This can be accomplished by anyone who works with the infinite and works with faith. Do not expect things to be given to you. Take them and transform them into what they should be. Faith will give you power. Faith will give you power. When amid changes you hope that each change will be an open door to better things than you knew before, live in that faith. Infuse all your heart, your life, and your soul with that faith, and what your faith desires will come to pass. When you have obligations to fulfill, bills to pay, and you lack what is needed, have faith. Do not worry or feel anxious, not even for a moment. Know that faith can open the realms of unlimited provision, whatever your need may be. Entrust the matter to faith, and you will find the way. It will reveal the opportunities needed to meet your obligations. Do not question how. Have faith in faith, and its hidden secrets will be revealed to you in their entirety. Never worry if results do not appear immediately. Be fully assured that faith will pave the way before it is too late. Once again, we must remember not to settle for mere belief in faith, but to live mentally in the very essence of faith. Entering into faith means entering into the life of the unlimited power that is within and around us. Having faith is opening the mind to the flow of this inner power that can accomplish all things. Therefore, having a deep and strong faith from the soul reduces failures to nothing. This is another great truth that should be proclaimed from the rooftops and repeated throughout the world. Have faith, and everything you undertake will be accomplished. Unlimited power cannot fail, and faith opens the mind to this power. This proves that faith is the hidden secret, and that is why one should not pay attention to appearances or external indications. Faith operates on the principle that anything desired can be accomplished. Faith works on this principle because it knows there is an unlimited power within man, and that he can gain conscious possession of this power. By having faith in faith, one of the essential elements for achieving the most beautiful life is becoming aware of the existence of reality. Teaching this truth is one of the main functions of faith. Faith is an inner understanding. It can see beyond the sensory world and perceive things as they are, or indicate what needs to be done to achieve the high ideals we have in mind. If you desire to realize your ideals, follow faith. It will provide you with everything you might need to reach your high goal. It always puts us in harmony with the most subtle essence of things, hence its immense power. It proves that the invisible can be seen by those who awaken the higher mind within themselves. Thus, by entering into faith, we enter into the realization of reality and see all things as they are in their perfect state. In every vocation, every study, and every field of thought, there are new worlds of unlimited possibilities that, when discovered and developed, add real and immeasurable value to life. There are never new worlds to conquer. Do not complain about the lack of opportunities available to you. Remember that there are a million rich and wonderful worlds ready to knock at your door. Turn your attention to them, and you will have countless opportunities, not only for the present, but also for times to come. The hidden secret of these new worlds is faith, and you will be given a more real and substantial universe than anything you have known before, filled with more possibilities than the grains of sand on the shore. Attempting to become aware of something that is beyond the current capacity of consciousness generates confusion in the mind, a fact known to anyone who has tried to understand the universe with the limits of rational mind. But when the mind works and thinks with faith, consciousness naturally and autonomously expands, producing perpetual mental growth. Understanding the universe, God, and life is impossible without faith. Trying to do so alone disturbs the mind. But with faith, these things are understood easily and with minimal mental effort. Great truths appear as clear and vivid revelations to the mind that thinks with faith. The function of faith is not to accept blindly, but to give man the wisdom and power to accomplish greater things. Faith is not just believing. True faith is a higher understanding. It sets to work without questioning the results. Faith knows that everything is possible and acts accordingly. It undertakes the greatest enterprises and finds that obstacles do not exist anywhere. The only appearance of obstacles we may encounter is that of limitations we believe exist within our own conscious actions, where consciousness determines that the obstacle is located. We fear going further because, beyond the current reach of consciousness, it seems that there is nothing. But when we follow faith and advance, we discover that the supposed void is solid rock. Faith knows that the obstacle we believe we see is an illusion, a mirage produced by our inability to go further. But faith dispels this mirage and guides consciousness, proving that we can go anywhere, finding a solid base without any obstacles on the path. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. It enters into the very life of what is desired, thereby obtaining possession of the coveted treasure. Faith is the soul, the inner substance of all mental actions, desires, and hopes. In this sense, faith is the essence of things hoped for and brings them into tangible possession. No thought should end in mere hope, for if it does, it produces failure. On the other hand, a thought that transitions from hope to faith will succeed in any circumstance. The reason is clear. Hope remains outside, while faith enters. Hope waits to be guided, whereas faith relies on its own light and acts. Hope expects external help, while faith awakens its own unlimited forces and produces results without external aid. Finally, hope looks for the best, while faith lives and works in the belief that the best must come, thereby creating the necessary circumstances to achieve the greatest good. Through faith, man can accomplish all things, for faith awakens in man that part which can make everything possible. If you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, "Move from here to there," and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. This remarkable statement, coming from the greatest mind ever to appear on earth, provides more conclusive evidence to support the claim that faith is the hidden secret. No accomplishment is greater than that of faith. No other achievement can reach its highest state of effectiveness, perfection, and power unless it is based on faith, animated and developed by it. However, faith does not replace other accomplishments, but rather gives a true soul and superior power to each accomplishment, offering man possibilities he has never known before. Faith does not replace skill, intellect, nor does it minimize work, but it unites all work, all skill, and all competence with the unlimited powers of the great within. The man who combines these three elements, work, skill, and faith, will accomplish whatever he sets out to do. When these three elements become one, failure is annihilated, and the greatest success is assured. Fill your work with the unlimited power of faith. Become as learned and cultivated in spirit as possible, but illuminate this prodigious intellect with the radiant spirit of faith. Make the best use of all physical functions, but infuse every action of the body with the invincible power of faith. It is faith that awakens the highest and greatest in you, thus elevating all your faculties to the highest state of effectiveness. It fills the soul with that strange determination that drives you through all conditions and reaches the very peak of the mountain of accomplishment. Only faith produces true greatness, which can never die but remains forever as an inspiration for the whole world. Have faith, and pain, illness, problems, and misfortunes will disappear completely. All mountains will be moved, and nothing will be impossible for you. Faith and desire, united as one, can create anything and manifest it in the life of man. Thus, the great within opens before you, and unlimited power is at your disposal. Come where glory awaits you. This is the call of faith, not to another sphere of existence, but here and now. Follow faith, and you will have power, wealth and glory, wisdom and genius, courage and superiority, peace and joy. Enter into the very soul of faith, and you will enter into the very presence of the infinite, thus placing yourself in the very love of God. God will be with you in all that you undertake, and when He accompanies us, nothing is impossible. Feel His presence, and you will be filled with His life at all times. This life is supreme, unlimited, invincible. Therefore your prayers will be answered, and His will be done. Entering into the very soul of faith is speaking to the infinite in the beautiful language of faith. Infinite Father, I thank you because you hear my prayer. I thank you because you always listen to me. I thank you because you have already given me everything my heart can desire, everything my life may need for the present time and for the eternity to come. Now, with supreme joy and inexpressible gratitude, I come to you to receive your gifts and receive from your loving hands the divine blessings you have reserved for me since eternity. This is the prayer of faith, which is always heard and turns into a life devoted, a life lived with God. Faith is in the mind. It knows that God has given us everything we need and that He wants all our prayers to be answered. Everything we need to live the perfect life, which is worth more than 10,000 lives to the soul, is ready for us in His kingdom. For this, we must enter into His presence through the doors that faith has opened for us. Faith is the hidden secret of all human desires and needs. Therefore, all things are possible for the one who has faith. Trust that all desired things will come to the one who lives, thinks and acts in the very soul of this great secret that is faith.